Another fossil hunting adventure. Pretty cold. We're probably around 40 degrees. At least that's what it's supposed to get up. I still think we're in the 30s for now. This big hill right here, you can't really tell from this angle, but it's actually been sliding down. That's like the edge of it, and it keeps like moving further and further in. So that whole part is like just sliding off the side of the hill. Let me get around it. But it's just like the land is like oozing. Look, see? Like all these trees and things were upright, and as the hill's kind of coming down, they're just like being pushed over. I don't know if that whole thing's moving or not, but this right here, and again the camera doesn't know justice, but that was up higher and it's just been falling and sliding down. So a lot of good stuff up there I found, because it's just kind of mixing and turning and just rolling up stuff, and it's all in kind of a clay mud, and a lot of the fossils are nice and broken away from the matrix, and they're already kind of eroded out. So they kind of turn up, and then the rain just washes them out, exposes them. Down that way, you know, a lot of people seem to be cracking rocks open. Around the bend, you can't see it, but that goes around, and then way out on the right side there are the tracks. A lot of great stuff up into there. So that goes all the way down. Even through here, you can find good stuff. So we'll see. It's freezing cold. I got a couple of hoodies on and a coat, so we're supposed to get some rain. I got a poncho, but I got a few hours and I don't normally get this much time to look. So, you know, I'm gonna, you know, take advantage of the time, even if it starts raining on me. All right, we'll see ya. Okay, I'm kind of at the top. So can you see how, so here's the ground and it's just cracking and rolling and splitting, and kind of down it goes. So all this just keeps moving, and every time I come here it's a little bit different. So down in all this stuff, there's just all kinds of little pieces of coral and brachiopods and cephalopod chunks, trilobite pieces, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm digging through. So this is just one little kind of hill. I mean, it's slowly landsliding. We're talking very slow. I mean, you're not seeing it happen or anything, but when you come back a week or two later, you see movement. Okay, so here's a little bit more of the kinds of things I'm looking at. Looks like it's gonna be a nice one. Oh, it's a little broken, that's okay. Still pretty, it's nice. I like finding them when you don't have to do a bunch of prep work. So it's just, this kind of stuff's just falling out of the walls. And if you come right after a rain, you know, it kind of washes them out, and they're just laying right up on the surface. There's just pieces of fossil everywhere. Bryozoan. A lot of it's broke up pieces, but you do come across whole ones. So we're gonna look up over there. I'm sure there's lots of stuff coming out of those rocks. Nice little horn coral. And if it's all infilled with stuff. And I noticed a little nice little brachiopod. There's a little piece of bryozoan that's pretty big. You know, a lot of times these are broke up pretty small. Got a crack in it, that's kind of cool. I have a few things of interest. I already picked them up. Piece of a cephalopod. You'll be able to see more once it's clean. There's that piece, and here was another piece I picked up. Also, just a big chunk of bryozoan or coral. And also, so what I found first, see if I can find it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Little trilobite. Let's see if it's whole. I haven't touched it yet. Don't know if there's a little face under there. He's tiny too. Oh. It's hard to tell. Looks to be whole. It's kind of like half rolled. I'll have to clean it up and get some actual pictures. So I got a little trilobite, some cephalopod pieces, so we'll see. Okay, from up here you can see kind of what's happened. So this is a road, and it goes all the way up there. But right here, from that point on coming down to here, which is well into the road, that's what's busted off and sliding down the hill. Let me get a... So like right now, I'm on the road where your kind of tire would be. And you're going, and that's just drop. So that drops off. Don't know if that's coming across real well in the video, but basically this road and all this here is just sliding down. Kind of a plateau, and then it slides down further down there. Interesting. Just wanted to show you guys all these little brachiopods exposed. They're all just weathered right out. I mean, they're everywhere. We'll go kind of slow. We don't want to go down there. That's like a giant drop off. They're everywhere. Here's a piece of cephalopod I just found. I've been finding so much stuff, but I'm covered in mud and hate getting my phone out. One of these days I'll get me a GoPro. This is something big, I don't know. Have to clean it up. But all these little brachiopods, just dozens and dozens and dozens of them. Not in this little area, so they must have been packed in a rock. Gastropod of some kind. Packed in this matrix that just eroded out real easily. We'll see what else. It's cold. I'm covered in mud. My bag's way down the hill somewhere. It's just getting too heavy to lug around. And I just did not want to give up, and I still don't want to. But I've been here about 4 or 5 hours probably. There's just so much stuff here. And here's this hillside. This hillside coming down. I mean, it's a little sketchy. I hate to say it. The video, video doesn't do slopes. Your like perception of depth, or I don't know if that's even the right wording, but basically, this is steep. Like from there down, I mean, that's just a straight down. All very muddy. You got to be careful, but I don't know if most people don't. I know people hunt this. I mean, now it's kind of a crappy time of year weather-wise. But I don't know that very many people are clinging onto this side of here and sliding all around and whatnot. And I don't know, I've just been finding lots of neat stuff. I mean, it's cool to me anyways. I don't know. Like, cephalopods my favorite, and I love finding little fragments and pieces of it. So I got a lot of that today. When you find different pieces, they're eroded differently, fossilized, different aspects of it. Sometimes you can see internal structures and different things in different specimens that you don't see in other ones. So I pick them all up. If it's a cephalopod, I pick it up. If it's a brachiopod and it's nice, complete, both halves, I usually pick it up, both valves or whatever. So, like this, and there's different areas like right there, you can't really tell, but like there's like water seeping out of the side and it just turns it into a real mud. So like what I'm standing on right now is muddy. It's pretty secure. But like right here, this stuff, for example, it's like, that whole thing's like all slick, wet mud. So you wouldn't want to get into that, way up on the side of one. You slide all the way down. So here's my bag. Got so much crap here. Brought a hammer and chisel. I didn't really do much with that today. A lot of people get nice little rolled up trilobites out of here. Here's some of a slab I really like. There's a nice gastropod right there. And I don't know, just some big bryozoan. So, alright, I'm gonna get out of here. There was another reason I picked this up. I thought maybe it just in the light looked a lot nicer. Here's a big something else here. Big hypostome. There's my finger. That would have been a pretty big trilobite. So, alright, I'm gonna get out of here before it gets dark. What's up? Alright, finally made it back home. I had to clean up a few things. I'm getting ready to clean up my fossils. So here they are. As you can see, the bag's got pretty muddy. This was my outer coat. These pockets are stuffed. All the pockets on here are stuffed. This thing is just stuffed. So we got lots of stuff to kind of clean up. So I've got all these little containers. So I'm pretty cheap. I just take these water jugs. I use milk jugs. Cut them in half. I'm going to take everything, put them in these little tubs, let them soak for a little bit. Then I've got this electric, well, I've got regular toothbrush too, but this Oral-B electric toothbrush. That's just the head for it. That's what I scrub them with. Here's that slab. It's maybe not the best. I mean, there's nothing super crazy interesting on it. There was this gastropod right here, and most of it's buried in the matrix, but here's the end or the opening, and a lot of times that lip is really destroyed. So, this had some nice texture on it. Be a big one. I'd be curious to see if it was all there or not. There was another point right there. There are also some big bryozoan on here. It's pretty big. crinoid stem pieces. So, I don't know. That was heavy to carry out. But something struck me about it. Alright, we'll get this cleaned up and we'll see how it goes. Alright, I wanted to get a little bit of unloading it. So it's covered in mud, but that's a big brachiopod. Horn coral. Don't know. Oh, that's a piece of cephalopod. Got a ton of that today. Horn coral. Piece of cephalopod. I mean, this stuff's just covered in mud. You'll be surprised at all the texture you'll be able to see. Piece of cephalopod. I got so much of this today. Another thing. Here were all those in the clip with the loose brachiopods. These are all just oh my god. They're just just like tons of them. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. A lot of good stuff here. It's a big piece of coral in there. I got some other neat coral pieces. It's got a horn coral on it. There was something about this one. It was so muddy. I just saw something on it I liked. Gotta clean it up. This is shoot, you can't see any. There's just so much mud on it. I don't even remember. I mean, I was there. I ended up being there for like 6.5 hours. I didn't realize I was there for so long. So there's stuff I picked up. I was just like picking stuff up. This one was just a super, I like these very weather worn out pieces that just, that blue is rubbed off from, I got some cardboard in there to kind of, you know, separate them so they're not rubbing against each other, but that blue is coming off that box. I think that comes right off. But these really weathered out horn corals, that one's busted. I love it. And this stuff, oh, you just, I mean, it's just going to clean up so good. Another piece of cephalopod, not very well preserved, like an internal mold. There's a line running down. That's probably the siphuncle. What else we got? Another cephalopod piece. I mean, I'm not kidding. I got so much of that. You'll see. Oh, that's my favorite. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, there's another. This one I climbed way to the top, and see, there's a lot there, a lot of detail that you'll see when I clean it up. It's great. That's gonna look super cool. All the big giant pieces in there, and that texture is actually in the mud. That's for my glove. That's not like a coral or anything. So that was at the top of a hill, and these kind of cliffs, they're pretty steep, covered in mud, and you just kind of hang on and try to get up as high as you can. Not very many people go up there, and you just see this big stuff laying out. To me, there's some really long pieces there. I didn't find too much trilobite action, but I was really kind of on the move more, so I was looking for other things. Another piece of cephalopod, big horn coral. There's some toilet paper down in there. Something small in there. I can't remember what I put in there. Another horn coral. I mean, there's just so much. This was, oh, here we go. That's notable. There's a brachiopod in there. That's a pretty big horn coral. It's got a big burrow, where a creature would have burrowed inside of it, but You know, when it was sitting on the seafloor, a creature burrowed inside of it, and then it was fossilized. That's pretty common. I mean, that's a big hole. A lot of times they're smaller, but it's pretty common to find holes on them. All right, everything's soaking. This stuff will clean up really nice. Nice thing about that location, they seem to really weather out nice. Still see a lot of detail. Here's that little trilobite. I don't know how well this is gonna. A little rolled up flexi. Let me see if I can flip him over. Yeah. So he's complete. So there's some really interesting stuff I really want to get cleaned up. So I don't know. We'll see. Here's the prone trilobite. There's the little rolled up one. This thing is pretty fragile. The rock's broken. It's pretty chipped up. I think I'm just gonna maybe glue it back together and not mess with it much. Just stick it on a little card or something. That little rolled up one's pretty cool. So not much for trilobites, but I'm happy with it. Anytime I can get any significant piece or a whole one, it's a good thing. Alright, just wanted to show you real quick how I clean these. I use this Oral-B electric toothbrush. It's like brushing on steroids, does a really great job. So here's these pieces, this piece of some kind of bryozoan. It's covered in that clay and mud. You just kind of hold it down in the water a little bit. You want it underwater just a little bit because if you're out, like the bristles are kind of slinging water everywhere, so you want it kind of down in there. Also, it kind of helps rinse. So then, see, that cleaned it off pretty good. So then I just kind of set it aside and okay, time for the wrap up. This video is getting a little long. So this is the end result of all the cleaning. We'll start here. Little prone trilobite. A little rolled up guy. Look at that. There we go. Some size. He's little. Bunch of little brachiopods. Here's some horn coral kind of plates. They're real weathered out. I like to collect the weathered out. And it's hard to see, but there's all kinds of little horn coral. Where was it? Oh, it was this one. Little horn coral, little horn coral. There's one there. There's one there. There's a piece of cephalopod. All this is just tons of it. I just kept finding tons of it. Internal molds. There's a little tiny one. center there you can see the siphuncle indentation. There we go, sorry about that. A piece of cephalopod, that's the siphuncle there. Deteriorated. There's the siphuncle coming out of the top. Oh, there's a little flexi gobella piece. There's a piece of the siphuncle, or the kind of remains of it. Oh, here's this is a pretty big one. Kind of crushed, but it's got the kind of some of the outer shell intact. And here's kind of the center. On the back side you can kind of see the internal chambers. It's got some like infilling of some other fossil material. And this I think is kind of maybe another piece, but you know, I don't know what these lines are. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I don't know if this is a piece of cephalopod. These grooves on the outside, or these rings or whatever, in the center chamber here, I'm just not sure. You know, here it's like the outer shell doesn't have that. Doesn't have that design in it, so I'm not sure. So that's all kind of cephalopod pieces. Here's a big isotélous hypostome. I mean, it's pretty massive. There's that quarter for size. That would have been off a pretty large trilobite. Here's a piece of coral, like some kind of colony coral. A bunch of bryozoan. I don't pick up a lot of this, but well, maybe this is a lot, but you know, these, if a piece catches my eye for some reason, I pick it up. You know, this stuff's usually smashed up pretty bad. Okay, I didn't even see these before, but those are like little encrusted like worm tubes. It would have been on the bryozoan before it died. And some kind of little, sorry for the focus, creature would live inside of there and poke its head out and collect food. Here's another example of that. Where'd it go? Oh, you know what? Wrong one. Here we are. Some more of those little worm tubes in there. Okay. More brachiopods. Here's another piece of bryozoan. Or, yeah. There's a big chunk. I don't know if this is bryozoan or a piece of coral or what. It's got some calcite crystals in there. Here we go. These are the rasquina. A lot of them are very thin. I love them. These are my favorite to, I mean, look at that. That's both sides. Very thin. Here's just one. It's the bottom. This would be the bottom side. This is the inside of it. This one's got some like encrusted, like a bryozoan or some kind of encrusting coral. There's a little flexi gabella. Here's like my gastropods I found. These are, I'm really excited about these little curved. I have to look them up. It's got this kind of ridge. I found one there once before, and this trip I found 3. This one's not a very good example, but you know, I say it's not very complete. It's fine in its own right. Little gastropods, snail shells. Pretty nice ones. Here's like an internal mold. So, you know, these are like, you know, here's like a fossil, and that's like the outer shell of the actual creature, or the fossil of it. But this is like a fossil of the space inside. Here's another one. I don't know, it might be a little shell remnants there, but you get the idea. Here's kind of a different one. I don't really have any other ones. I don't know how far that went around, or if that's it. Here's a different one. Got a lot of matrix stuck to it. Some other little brachiopods. Here's a... here's a piece of the thorax of Isotylus. Now, like the hypostome for this would have been much smaller. You know, this would have been a creature much wider than that. Okay, here's some geotized brachiopods. Brachiopod that form crystals inside. This one, the other one's maybe a little more appealing because you can see more of the shell, and this one's even less shell, but still very cool. Worth picking up, in my opinion. There's a little trilobite tail. Here's kind of our... Let me zoom back out. Plesiopods. They're all kind of mostly like internal molds. Kind of neat though, both sides. Let me look at this one again. Okay, on to horn coral. Brachiopod. Jammed down in there. So one with a lot of burrows. This one only has one. They call that two different things. I don't remember the names, but when there's a bunch, it's kind of one name. When there's only one, or they're solitary, it's something else. This has like a little, I don't know if these just kind of fossilized smashed together, or if that's something else. It's kind of growing on this while it was laying on the sea floor. It's hard to say. Maybe someone else would know. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I did pick up that slab. We kind of already looked at that. That's just kind of some stuff that had a lot of matrix stuck to it. Some long bryozoan there. So I kind of pick up a lot of, a little bit of everything. I mean, it's a lot of common stuff, but for me, it just all adds to the collection. So, and I'll go to like a Kroger's or a grocery store and get these little trays, the cans, like soup cans come in them. Then you can go to Walmart or somewhere like a craft store, buy a piece of felt. Hang on. Okay, I need 2 hands for that. So, here's that tray. It just makes a nice tray. It's like 28 cents. So then you can just start laying in your stuff. You know, however you choose to arrange it, but alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just kind of wanted to start making some videos of my fossil hunting. I try to go out at least once a week, more if I can. I've got a kind of a busy schedule. But this is all one trip. This was kind of a longer trip. I don't usually get to stay for, you know, that long. I'm usually hitting it for like an hour or two. So, alright, we'll get you next time.